A lot of topics on the table. We've been following this whole diatribe with the 49ers. Brandon Aiyuk meets with general manager John Lynch, gets a course in Economics 101, why they don't want to do a contract extension right now. A week ago, he said, that's fine with me. We'll play this entire season. A week later, when we got to the weekend, he was on social media. I have demanded to be traded. I don't want to be here, etc. New England has surfaced, and the Patriots are willing to make an offer to get Brandon Aiyuk. They're willing to trade a number one pick. Knowing how bad the Patriots are, that number one pick's going to be pretty high. I don't think Frisco wants to trade the wide receiver, but I think if they could get a high number one, they'd trade him and keep Deebo Samuels, who's already signed to a contract extension. The two very, very different receivers. Speaking of the Patriots, man, they are peeved. They're opening training camp, and they've named Jacoby Brissett, the journeyman, as the starting quarterback rather than the North Carolina rookie Drake May, who is, the third pick in the draft. Boston media just banging on them. And they're saying, we want somebody to run this offense with this new coaching staff, and we'll develop this quarterback. And then today, columnist wrote, this might be the worst modern offense in NFL history. They have no game breakers in Boston with the Patriots. So Patriots are having a really tough time. Let's talk about the Bears and the number one draft pick and the quarterback. Let's first of all start about the entrepreneur that is Caleb Williams. So Caleb Williams has different lawyers representing him in different talks with the Chicago Bears. They've all been approved by the Players Association, but every time you want to discuss a certain aspect of the contract, evidently you're dealing with a different lawyer. So Caleb Williams goes to the Bears, and he has one lawyer tell the Bears, we want this 4 or 5 year contract, which is normal. This is the money, which is all slotted. You know what you're going to get. And the first lawyer says, we want a clause in the contract that you cannot franchise tag him anytime during this year, during the 4 years or the 5th year. You can't franchise tag him. You can't keep him from going to free agency. So the Bears are taken back by that. Second lawyer shows up and is indicated, wants a full no trade clause. Another lawyer shows up. I'm going to, with his approval, form a LLC corporation based out of Delaware. We're going to take all the money you're going to pay him, and it's going to go into the LLC, which means it's tax-free. Another lawyer shows up and says, we're coming up with another plan. We want you to pay him the amount of money. It's 4 years, $39 million. But we want that devised as a loan, so there's no tax. So Caleb Williams, the entrepreneur, comes up with all these demands through these different lawyers to the Bears. The Bears go to the National Football League, and the National Football League refuses to approve the contract. They said, all this stuff is in violation of the collective bargaining agreement. We're not changing the CBA for Caleb Williams. So they took everything and put it in a brown envelope and gave it back to the lawyers and said, no, the contract is the contract, and this is how the NFL wants us to negotiate this contract. He eventually signed 4 years, $39 million. He didn't get the franchise tag clause. He's got to be paid like you, me, and everybody else on the Chicago Bears, not as a loan, not tax-free. So anyhow, the entrepreneur and Caleb Williams got off to a rocky start. Now the quarterback that is Caleb Williams, everybody is really excited to see what he's going to be all about. Third item, Jacksonville Jaguars. See that logo there? This is really intriguing. You remember the vice president of finance that stole all this money from the Jaguars in the offseason?
Oh, yeah.
Got caught. He stole $22 million by rigging accounts and hiding money that was coming in that nobody knew, was never recorded, and went to him. This guy's in prison, by the way, already. I think his name is Amin Petit. Anyhow, Jacksonville just filed Friday night $66 million lawsuit against Petit. They're foreclosing on everything he owns. All his Mercedes-Benz, 3 palatial estates, etc. This guy was living high on the hog, and this guy was a gambling addict. They are, what is it? Garnishing.
Yeah.
Everything he owns.
Well, yeah, he stole from them.
Then they also filed paperwork with NFL business partner FanDuel. They're demanding FanDuel give back all $22 million that this vice president gambled and lost.
Oh, fat chance of that.
Said that was ill-gotten money
Mhm.
that you got from a guy who stole it from us. And we don't care that you're a partner with the NFL. That's our money illegally gotten by you. We want that money back. NFL has not said anything about this yet. That's kind of different. That's really interesting.
Mhm.
Final topic, Green Bay Packers. Everybody's opening camp. Guess who's not going to be there? Quarterback, Jordan Love.
Really?
Jordan Love is in the final year of his contract. Now, this is the Utah State quarterback that has grown into the job, earned the job. Aaron Rodgers left, had a really mystical season, 32 touchdowns last year, 3,000 plus yards. He's only started 1 year. He's hardly ever played aside from last year's really good season. And he's slated to make $10.5 million in the final year. They're trying to negotiate the extension. He can't be a free agent yet. He's not qualified. He wants 45 to 50 million right now.
Yeah,
He goes from 10.5 to
Mhm.
45 to 50 million right now after one season of success in the league. And they announced this morning he's not coming to camp. Now he's
Ah.
going to get fined $50,000 a day because that's the CBA. But again, everybody at the quarterback position in the NFL, whether you're a longtime veteran or a one-year starter, everybody wants 50 million. It's just Green Bay's got them. They got an issue now with that guy who obviously has to be there for them to be successful. So, John, those are hot topics on the table. Go ahead, talk about Caleb Williams. You know, you went to law school. You didn't cut class that day, but talk about Caleb Williams, Jordan Love, etc.
Well, Caleb Williams, I mean, I love the innovative ideas.
Oh, you're a capitalist.
But yeah,
God.
but it's like Shohei Ohtani has kind of destroyed this whole contract thing about all these innovative ways to move money around. Now, by the way, if you set up an LLC, it's still not tax-free. It's just structured to minimize taxes.
Right.
It's not zero taxes. But, it is a collective bargaining agreement. There's not much he can do there. The Aiyuk situation in San Francisco, if he doesn't want to be there, the Niners should trade him. And if you can get a number one and something else for him, I would do that in a heartbeat if I were, the Niners.
Well, the only thing is Debo keeps getting hurt. So if you're choosing Debo Samuel, multi-position guy, who's already signed, but you can't keep him on the field because he can't handle 17 games. And you got Aiyuk, who's had this unbelievable breakout season last year. I thought Samuel would have been traded by this point, which would then allow him to take Debo's money and give it to Aiyuk. But Aiyuk has just become a diva. He's like the wind that keeps changing. He says one thing on Monday and it feels different by Friday. And Frisco's got an issue now. And then you remember we talked about this last week. They do have to re-sign Brock Purdy, and that's going to be a pro quarterback contract.
Hey, I saw a video on Instagram of Jerry Rice's son catching balls.
Brendan.
Yes. I mean, is he legit? Is he like a real deal? Or?
He's in the Chargers camp. He's going to have to prove he can do it.
Oh, he's a Charger.
Yes. Yeah, he was a late pick.
Okay.
No, Jerry Rice was furious that his kid was on the board to 5th round, 6th round, etc. But he's in the right situation. They need wide receivers, so he's going to get his chance in his preseason games to see how he does.
Right on.
So that's where we are as it relates to pro football. A couple of